Hello? My camera on? Why can't I see my camera? Hold up. Yeah, I know I'm live. Hold up. Okay, so I am live. Alright, so you can't see me. Alright. Hey guys, back with another live stream. Going to be reading Jurassic Park again. It's very off-putting that I can't see myself looking through the camcorder. So, little update. We're actually last time we were reading the first 3 chapters. The By the Raptor prologue, where Engine brings this kid over to Bahia Inesco over in Costa Rica, and they are trying to cure him. He dies. This kid, Tina Bowman, or Kathy Bowman, similar to the Lost World story, got bit by the Compsognathus. They took her to a city, can't remember where. They cured her, and there is a doctor who is trying to identify what the the animal is that bit her. We all know it's a Compsognathus, but so yeah, he finds a piece of meat of the lizard that a howler monkey has in its mouth, shoots it, and then collects a piece of meat. Now he is trying to send it to New York, so then the people there at the Tropical Diseases Laboratory can identify what the animal is. All right. So, before I get started, I'm going to put a little poll. Start a poll. Should I buy a real dinosaur bone? Yes, no. And don't get the wrong idea with this poll. I do have real dinosaur fossils, like not Tyrannosaur, Spinosaurus teeth, but I'm not quite satisfied with that. I do have clams and possible bones, like what you guys might have saw with the dinosaur fossil collection video I have. And I'm just not satisfied. If so, what dinosaur fossil should I get? Should I get like a Minosaurus bone? Ow. I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to start reading the book now. Dad! Can you not? Oh, this kid. All right. Today we're reading chapter 4 and 5, by the way. Time to be real. Let me do my be real real quick. Eh. No, come on. Just a second. All right. Besides the point. The time traveling mosquito with scuba. Oh my god. All right. Who logged off? All right. I do want to tell you guys that earlier I um I, by the way, who is all subscribed to Clayton Fiordi? Comment on my Be Real. Are you subscribed to Clayton Fiordi? Yes, that is the right way to spell it. That is by the way, my favorite YouTuber. You should go subscribe to him if you're not. No one's on? No? Anyone? Is there absolutely anyone on? Comment yes in the chat if you're on. Never mind. Oh, we got someone. Well, I'm going to start reading now. All right. We're reading chapter 4 and 5. This is chapter 4. New York. Dr. Richard Stone, head of the Tropical Diseases Laboratory of Columbia University Medical Center, often remarked that the name conjured up a grander place than it actually was. In the early 20th century, when the laboratory occupied the entire fourth floor of the biomedical research building, crews of technicians worked to eliminate this. I'm going to ignore it. Biomedical research building. Crews of technicians worked to eliminate the scourges of yellow fever, malaria, and cholera. But medical successes and research laboratories in Nairobi and Sao Paulo have left the TDL as much less important than it once was. Now a fraction of its former size, it employed only two full-time technicians, and they were primarily concerned with diagnosing illnesses of New Yorkers who had traveled aboard the lab's the lab's comfortable routine was unprepared for what it received that morning. Oh yeah, very nice, the technician in the tropical diseases laboratory said as she read the customs label. Partially masticated fragment of unidentified Costa Rican lizard. She wrinkled her nose. This one's all yours, Dr. Stone. Richard Stone crossed the lab to inspect the new arrival. Is the is this the material from Ed Simpson's lab? Yes, she said, but I don't know why they'd sent a lizard to us. His secretary called. Stone said, Simpson's on a field trip in Borneo for the summer, and because there's a question of com- communicable disease with his lizard, she asked our lab to take a look at it. Let's see what we've got. The white plastic cylinder was the size of a half-gallon milk container. It had locking metal latches and a screw top. It labeled International Biological Specimen Container and plastered with stickers and warnings in four languages. The warnings were intended to keep from being opened by suspicious customs officials. Apparently the warnings had worked. As Richard Stone swung the big light over, he could see the seals were still intact. Stone turned on the air handlers and pulled on plastic gloves and a face mask. After all, the lab had recently identified specimens contaminated in Venezuelan equine fever, Japanese bee encephalitis, Kaya Sanyr forest virus, Langet virus, and Mayo. Mayo. I could go with a sandwich with mayo. Then he unscrewed. Then he unscrewed the top. There was a hiss of escaping gas, and white smoke boiled out. The cylinder turned frosty cold. Inside, he found a plastic Ziploc sandwich bag containing something green. What happened? Thought my computer died for a second. Anyways, by the way, I am gonna plug this in real quick to keep it charged. There we go. Back on mine. There was Stone spread a surgical drape on the table and shook at the contents of the bag. A frozen piece of flesh struck the table with a dull thud. Huh? The technician said. Looks eaten. Yes, it does, Stone said. What do they want with us? The technician consulted the enclosed documents. Lizard is biting local children. They have a question identification of the species and a concern about diseases transmitted from the bite. She produced a child's pi- she produced a picture of a lizard, signed by Tina at the top. One of the kids drew a picture of a lizard. Stone glanced at the top. Obviously, we can't verify the species, Stone said, but we can check diseases easily enough. If we can get any blood out of this fragment, what are they calling this animal? Bacillus ammaratus with three-toed genetic anomaly, she said, reading. Okay, Stone said, let's get started. While you're waiting for it to thaw, do an x-ray and take Polaroids for the record. Once we have blood, start running antibody sets until we get some matches. Let me know if there's a problem. Before lunchtime, the lab had its answer. Lizard blood showed no significant reactivity to any viral or bacterial antigen. They had run into toxicity profiles as well, and they had found only one positive match. The blood was mildly reactive to the venom of Indian king cobra, but such cross reactivity was common among reptile species, and Dr. Stone did not think to did not think it noteworthy to include in the facts his technician sent to Dr. Martin Gutierrez that same evening. There was any question about identifying the lizard that would await the return of Dr. Simpson. He was not due back for several weeks, and his secretary asked if the TDL would please store this lizard fragment in the meantime. Dr. Stone put it back in the Ziploc bag and stuck it in the freezer. Martin Gutierrez read the facts from the Colum- Columbia Medical Center Tropical Diseases Laboratory. It was brief. Subject: but Bacillus ammaratus with genetic anomaly. Forwarded from Dr. Simpson's office. Posterior segment. Partially eaten animal. Producers performed X-ray, microscopic, immunological RTX for viral, parasitic, bacterial disease findings. No histologic, histo- histologic or immunologic evidence for any communicable disease in man. This Bacillus ammaratus sample. Signed, Rich A. Stone, MD, Director. Gutierrez made two assumptions based on the memo. First, that identification of the lizard as a bacillus had been confirmed by scientists at Columbia University. And second, that the absence of communicable disease meant the the recent episodes of spor- sporadic sporadic lizard bites implied no serious health hazards for Costa Rica. On the contrary, he felt his original views were correct, that a lizard species had been driven from the forest into a new habitat and was coming into contact with village people. Gutierrez was certain that in a few more weeks the lizard would settle down and the biting episodes would end. Might end the stream soon. I'll finish chapter 4 and then I'll save chapters 5 and 6 for another time. The tropical rain fell in great drenching sheets, hammering the corrugated roof at the clinic in Bahia Inesco. It was nearly midnight. Power had been lost in the storm, and the midwife Elena Morales was working by flashlights when she heard a squeaking, chirping sound. Thinking that it was a rat, she quickly put a compress on her forehead of the mother and went into the room to check on the newborn baby. As her as her hand touched the doorknob, she heard the chirping again, and she was relaxed. Evidently, it was just a bird flying in the window to get out of the rain. Costa Ricans said that when a bird came to visit a newborn child, it brought luck. Elena opened the door. The infant laid in a wicker bassinet swaddled in a light blanket, it, only its face exposed. Around the rim of the bassinet were three dark green lizards crouched like gargoyles when they saw Elena. They cocked their heads and stared curiously at her, but did not flee. In the light of her flashlight, Elena saw the blood dripping from their snouts, softly chirping. One lizard bent down and, with a quick shake of its head, tore a ragged chunk of flesh from the baby. Elena rushed forward, screaming, and the lizards fled into the darkness. But long before she reached the bassinet, she she could see what happened to the infant's face, and she knew the child must be dead. The lizards scattered into the rainy night, chirping and squealing, leaving behind only bloody three-toed tracks, like birds. Well, since this live stream didn't go so well, I'm going to end here and read chapter 5 and 6 next time. All right, I'll see you guys. See ya.